What's up, financial hawks? So in today's video, we're going to be going over why Dave Ramsey's emergency fund is apparently wrong. Now, I don't really know too much about Dave Ramsey's emergency fund, so I actually kind of got it up right now. So before we watch this video from the Ice Coffee Hour with Caleb Hammer and other guys, I forgot the freaking names already that quick. My bad. It's been a minute since I've been watching the videos. We're going to go ahead and start out with the 3 to 6 month, emergency fund from Dave Ramsey, so we can kind of get an idea before we watch the video. And it's saying 3 to 6 months, say 3 months if you're single with no dependents and a stable income, you're married and each of you has a stable income, or say 6 months and you're married with a single income, you're a single parent, your job is seasonal. Oh yeah, someone in your home is chronically ill, you or your spouse is self-employed, works on commission, or has a highly irregular income. And let's see, your starter emergency fund, he's saying that one should be about $1,000. This might not seem like a lot, but it's just a temporary buffer. And the fully funded one is the other one we just seen at 3 to 6 months. And why do you need an emergency fund? Yeah, you'll be prepared. You'll save money. Yeah, you'll definitely feel peace for sure. If you lose a job, you still have money right there. And I guess where you should keep it, say a simple savings account connected to your checking account. Okay, a money market account, an online bank, not a shoebox, and not in an investment account where it could lose value in the short term. Your emergency fund is insurance, not an investment. Okay, so you're looking at it as a emergency fund being insurance, not an investment. Okay, that's okay. And when should I use it? Okay. And then it kind of just goes over like when or how to, and get your income or get your emergency fund, what type of maybe increasing your job and what type of stuff you should decrease. Okay, so we kind of got like a sense of kind of what he's looking for, what he's talking about, emergency fund. So now let's go ahead and watch the video. Let me share the screen here so you guys can see this. And let's see if we agree or disagree. What I've seen so far, it didn't look too bad, but I'm definitely intrigued to see what they're going to say. They may say you may say for a whole year or so, or maybe even less. Maybe they might be like, hey, only have not a full month or 3 months, maybe have just 1 month. But let's see.
To getting on track, what do you recommend usually for people?
So
step by step.
We lay out their debt. We figure out what the minimum monthly payments are. We add them up. Then we get what their budget is with the rent. Some of the stuff they can't control because they're already in it. Sure, we can maybe downgrade eventually. But okay, that is what it is. Your debt is this. I put them on a grocery budget that's can be healthily done, but is also limiting. It just essentially involves weekly meal prepping instead of like cooking fresh, pre-prepared meals every day. It's going to be more meal prepping and then warming up. And then basically no fun except for a few unique situations. No paid for fun. Go have fun. Sometimes increasing income by getting a second job. So once we create what a potential income could be plus a potential budget, we then lay out the best way to get out of the debt. Sometimes that's a snowball method by doing the smallest debt to the largest. Sometimes it's the avalanche method by having the largest interest rate to the smallest interest rate. It really depends on their situation and their mentality around it. If you can tell they're going to have a hard time making through it, snowball makes sense from the emotional standpoint because they start seeing they're making progress. You pay off that small debt relatively easily, but all of a sudden you have a win. So you start paying off more. Avalanche, I like for people you can tell are a little more fired up, disciplined, because mathematically, avalanche method, you pay less over time. So we figure out the best method to do that. But first, we usually get them to save up a 1 month emergency fund, whatever their budget was, we get 1 month. Sometimes if they have kids, multiple kids, 2 months, because if anything happens, we've also had people on the show who have followed the babysit. I love Dave Ramsey. We're going to collaborate with them. I've been invited on the show like twice. Yeah. I just travel anxiety. But the $1,000 thing, and I get his logic. He's defended it a lot, especially recently, even though it hasn't been updated, and he's explained why. We've had people on the show, especially early in the show, who did the $1,000 to get out of debt. They started making progress on the debt. Then an emergency happened, and there's basically no emergency that's less than $1,000. Then they ended up in a worse situation than they were before they even saved up the $1,000. So I'm like, okay, let's make sure if anything happens, you can survive for a month while you scour for income sources. Or if you have a kid, just to make up for extra risk because you're taking care of little ones, okay, let's have 2 months emergency fund. Then we just beat that debt down. And then from there, it depends on their age.
Okay, so first off, let's go ahead and stop on this first point. So he's talking about having more than 1 month. Now, I'm not exactly sure when this was created, but this one does have 3 months, I guess, at the beginning, and then another one for 6 months. So let me see if we can actually see if this has been updated recently, because we do see the 1 month initially, but now we're also seeing the 3-month and 6-month. And yeah, we're not getting a date. April 5th. Okay, this came out April 5th. Let's see when this video came out. Oh wow, 9 months ago. Okay. So yeah, this looks like this is newer. So maybe Rachel, because again, this wasn't Dave Ramsey who wrote this. Let me see who Rachel is actually. Oh wow, guys, you can even see what I was looking at, but I was looking at this right here, the 3 to 6 months. And then I clicked down here to see who Rachel was. I clicked on her name and it kind of just brought me here. But interesting. So yeah, it looks like maybe Dave actually listened to Caleb and actually changed this right here, because we do see the 1 month. Like we just seen the 1 month. It was kind of like up here somewhere. Oh, here it goes. 1,000 starter emergency fund, but it looks like they then increased it to having 3 to 6 months. So it looks like they may be on agreement on that. But let's continue to see if there's any other differences that Dave and Caleb have.
So 50, 30, 20 is a good standard just for people to start a budget on. 50% on needs, 30% on wants, 20% on investing. But if someone's just getting out of debt, getting a fully funded emergency fund, you got to get a fully funded emergency fund, obviously, first. But once you get out of debt, if someone's starting at 50 and they have $0, they got to start investing 50% of their income if they're going to try to retire mid 60s, maybe even 70. So it depends on the age, but so whatever their budget allocation is going to be after that point depends where they are in retirement. Because what I really try to stress on the show, I just want people to be able to retire, whether that's they're spending their pile of money to zero by the time they die, or they're leaving something left over for someone else, passing on money. That's up to them and the avenue that they want to save in order to get there, how much they want to save in order to get that pile.
Do you ever have people question whether or not you're qualified to give them advice?
I've had interviews where people ask that or people get upset, but then I'm very clear that we don't talk about different investment vehicles. That's usually what you're licensed to talk about.
Right.
If you need a specific license to say, hey, if you make $100 a month, you shouldn't spend $120 on fast food, honestly, fuck off. That's pretty basic stuff. And I think that's very important for people to hear about. And okay, even if people are upset that, sure, there's no CPA and I'm telling someone they shouldn't spend more money than they make, I don't care that little hate that a couple people might give, because we get thousands and thousands and thousands of people reaching out saying, yo, in the comment section, email, social media, whatever, yo, I paid off my debt because of this channel. Yeah. And that is everything. Dude, I don't even care right now. I know right now I could.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him on that 1,000%. Like, that's basic. Hey, you're spending $100, $200 a month Starbucks, and you're $250 in debt, or $200 in debt, for example. You could stop getting that Starbucks, a month, save the $200 and use that towards the $200 debt or, deficit that you're in that month. Like, that is basic. That's very basic. So yeah, I can already tell, like, me just having a YouTube, people can, complaining on XYZ all the time on even little things like that. It's like, nah, like, that's just basic stuff. So I agree with him on that.
Back out of all my stocks, my personal residence, and get everything into the cash flowing type properties that I have up in Michigan, and I could generate $10,000 ish a month. I could do that and do this show for free, because the biggest reward is the progress that people make. It's so hype. It's so hype when people turn their lives around. It's just crazy. It's so exciting.
Why not go for like the certified financial advisor license?
I mean, at this point, I just don't feel like it's worth my time.
Sure.
I mean, it would be cool to talk people through investing and stuff like that. And I have my own opinions on investing. I do my own investing. Yeah. But I don't feel like it's worth my time. And also, I think where the average American is, it's more beneficial to help the people that are in the dire straits than sit down with someone and be like, okay, sure, you have 43% of your investment portfolio in the S&P 500, but maybe let's do 45% or something like that. I think it's going to be more beneficial to help someone learn how to budget and stop fucking around.
I agree. I think that's like the foundation of being good with finances is like budgeting. And what I tell all of my friends that come to me, because they know like I am somewhat in like the YouTube finance industry, or I'm somewhat related. They would say, hey, Jack, how do I get good with money? Like, what do you recommend I invest in? And I always just say, like, you just have to be aware, conscious, and intentional of money in general. Mm-hmm. If you want to learn how to be good with money, you have to just be conscious of money. What is money? What does money do for you? What do you do for money?
Okay.
Where is your money going? Be aware of your relationship with money. And that is like the strongest foundation that you can have to being financially free or secure.
Yeah. We're going to end that right there. Yeah. Being conscious of money is definitely the ding, 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 ding part of it. And I guess how I became like financially literate myself, is being conscious of it. Because like prior, like, elementary, junior high, high school, I have like really no concept of money. I didn't know exactly how much a house cost. I didn't know how much the average person made per month. So like even basic stuff like that, how much, gas would cost, monthly, how much electric costs for this, how much this costs for this, and, just calculating it in. So it's like when you're not that conscious, it's very easy to get into, I guess, the current situation that we're currently in right now, with people overspending on things, going to college for degrees that aren't worth anything just because they're just going to get a college degree, for example, all because they didn't know exactly, hey, if I do this degree and I pay $100,000, I'm going to be paying this for 10 years if I get a good job. And if I don't get a good job, then I may be, maybe spending 15, 20 years or even more on this debt. And I think that kind of helped me out too, just becoming very, very disciplined and being open to learn about money. And okay, this is how much this costs. This is how much this is. This is the average, amount of money that people make, taxes. This is, kind of just learning all of that different stuff. And that helped me out a ton. And that's something that you guys may have to do, for yourself. Again, I talked about a lot of this on my different YouTube videos, if you haven't already seen those. But again, you can just watch other YouTubers as well to learn more about finance. And again, knowing the cost of things. Like if I would have known like all this back when I was younger, like even just the amount like a typical house would cost, like mortgage wise and like little things like that, I feel like I would have been even more in a better position than I am now. So this is something that I'll definitely be sure to teach my kids for sure. Hey, this is how much this costs, this is how much this costs. Your current trajectory, if you're looking at this path, this is how much you'll be making. Let's tackle like the debt that you may get into it from this, how much you'll be paying off if you do go this route this way, kind of just giving them the full breakdown of things so that they're not in a position like I was or like a lot of people were. And, again, I guess thankful for me, I was able to learn this and then apply it and grind hard, afterwards. But a lot of people, they just don't understand this. And there's just a whole lot of debt. And now they're struggling now. And it sucks. And then, the economy, how crazy it is right now, and inflation, everything going up. If you didn't already have that discipline prior to all of this, it's going to be really hard for you right now. And yeah, it can definitely suck. It can definitely suck. But that's something I'll definitely be sure, not only teaching you guys, but also my kids and other kids too, who want to, learn about this as well. Kind of to give them the breakdown of this. I was hearing a lot of this from other YouTube channels talking about how like rich families, how they like teach their kids about different things within the finance, not necessarily like how much everything necessarily costs, but like the different types of loans, HELOCs, this and that, and the pros of bankruptcy and the cons of bankruptcy. And, this is how you get away from this, like how to do taxes more correctly and how to put money into trust and all of like all the other things that a lot of people just don't have any, no idea about at all, but they're getting this knowledge like firsthand when they're young. So then when they get older, they're really disciplined in a lot of different finance things that a lot of people aren't. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will be seeing you guys in the next one.